I'm here today with Richard Nisbet, who was in right at the beginning of the campaign for a theatre in Tweeddale in the Scottish borders. Richard, how and when did the campaign for a theatre start?
Well, the first thing I'd like to say is thank you so much for inviting me to do this interview. It's obviously a bit of a memory lane. So, answer to that question. The Borders was quite focused on sports rather than the arts up until the 1980s. There had been the traditional operatic societies, which they still are, and pipe and silver bands, and there were some drama groups and a one-act play festival that was held at the Tate Hall in Kelso. But formed in 1979, Tweed Theatre became a more ambitious and modern thinking group in the mid to the late 80s. And the People's Arts Festival, which I think formed early 80s, was gaining momentum. And Judy Steele had done the Borders Arts Festival. A lot of groups were made up of small numbers, and members tended to be in the kind of like, do we call them middle-aged plus group, the 40 plus? The main thing was that the halls, the schools, the centres were so under-equipped. And Tweed Theatre and other group productions required scaffolding, T-framed lighting stands, meters of cable, lighting desks, sound systems, and so forth. It goes on and on. And it was all very labour intensive, and it was quite expensive to hire. And we also had to get it from the hiring companies, usually Blacklight, and get it back, which also meant that we had to hire halls for longer, because it obviously took up longer to install all of this, like a day to install, a day to take out. And also it was quite dangerous, putting up scaffolding, lighting rigs. And there were never resident technicians at the venues. And so we relied on the great skill of local electricians and those with a technical background. One comes to mind as very much James Thomerson, who helped Tweed Theatre very much over the years, and some other groups. And some of the venues had out-of-date electric supply and fuse boxes. And the audience and performers were sharing toilets, some access through changing and makeup areas, even outside toilets. If you take in car lots, as it was at the time, an outside toilet. And as for disability access, well, we don't even go there. It just was zero. So like all things, we would moan and groan and would dream of something better. And so gossip and the yattering, the chattering, that was all the catalyst to suddenly groups of people, interested groups of arts and individuals starting to think. And Peter Norris, who was chairman of the People's Arts Festival, he organised a meeting with interested parties and groups, and we created what we called the wish list. Now, the wish list was from all the groups. It wasn't like just one wish list. It was all the groups and all individuals. So that is quite diverse, and their needs. And then in 1991, I directed, with a great deal of help, Oliver, the musical, in a combination of Tweed Theatre and People's Orchestra. Like, we had 80 youngsters in the production, not to mention the plenty non-youngsters. Also, of course, a huge production crew. And it was a great success, but it was hard and frustrating work to put on at Peebles High School. And it showed that there was collaborations with groups and an incredible enthusiasm for the arts with youngsters. And that's basically where this all was the catalyst and the start.
Richard, thank you so much. It's a very inspiring story. And we hope to come back and talk to you again another day about how the dream became a reality. I hope that would be okay with you.
That would be great fun to suddenly think how it became a reality. And we did it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.